Hi, my name is Agata. Welcome in Agata's Cottage. Today I have Friday Sews video for you. Hashtag Friday Sews was started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. Under this hashtag you can find videos from various vloggers chatting about their makes, their plans and a bit about their life. I love watching Friday Sews videos, they're one of my favorites. Usually Jen gives us a prompt for the week, and this week is no exception. She asked us to chat about a special make, about the wedding dress or any kind of occasion dress or something like that that you made. And I have one make like that in my portfolio. It's Alice communion dress. So it's a bit of tradition in my family that mom makes a communion dress for her daughter. My mom made one for me and for my sister. My grandmother made one for my mom and for all her sisters. So I thought it's appropriate, as I have the knowledge, or I know how to sew, to actually make a dress for Alice. So Alice had the communion during pandemic. We didn't know exactly when the communion would be happening, and I knew I wanted to use my wedding dress as a base. So I got my wedding dress shipped from Poland. It took a while and it needed to be carefully washed, and took me over 20 hours to remove all the stitches, to unpick all the vintage lace that was on my dress, and get it to the stage where I could actually use it. Because we weren't sure when Alice will have a communion, I didn't want to do one piece dress, because Alice wanted to have a dress that would be very long and that can swish like a princess dress. She kind of designed what she wanted, so it was 3-tier dress with a corset and a belt and little bolero. We weren't sure when exactly communion would be happening, what the weather will be like that. So I had to take everything into account. Took me over 100 hours to make the dress. I hate organza since sewing it, because Alice wanted to have voluminous skirts, and fabric from my wedding dress was Duchess satin, relatively heavy, and it wouldn't be suitable for what Alice wanted. So I used the skirt for making bolero and for making belt and corset. I used the lining from my dress to use as a lining in the skirt, and I got over 15 meters of organza from Whites in Newbridge in 2 shades, because I couldn't find the ideal shade I needed. So my wedding dress was kind of like a pearl color. I would call it almost a cream pearl color, and all the organzas I found were either like a sparkly snow white or they were cream. But when I put the cream organza on top of the snow white organza, I got the perfect color. So every layer of the dress, it's a circle and 3/4 of the circle, all with lattice hem, and it's 2 layers of organza for each layer of the skirt. I will pop the picture here. We don't have great pictures from the communion because it was in October. It was unbelievably cold day, so shortly after church Alice asked, can we go home and change into something warm before we go for the lunch we organized. I hand stitched lace to the bolero and to the belt. It took me a long time. Dress is not perfect. There's a lot of things that I would make differently, but it was a learning curve. I learned a lot about myself and about my sewing skills, and I improved my sewing skills a lot. Will I make anything similar like that in the future? God, no. No, just no. Overall, the dress took me around 100 hours of work, out of which will be around 20 just to unpick the dress itself, like my wedding dress, and to dismantle it. I still have some bits and pieces left, so I'm planning to make little Christmas bubbles with the pieces of my dress at some point in the future, definitely not this year, and kind of like, piece to remember. Alice looked fabulous. She loved it. She had shorter hair than she has now, and she really adored her dress. She looked, I wouldn't say like a princess, she more looked like a fairy. I loved how she looked. She loved it herself. She got a lot of compliments on her dress. She had scarf made for her by my lovely friend Josie. She crocheted the scarf for Alice as a gift for the communion, and she loves it. And she had little, kind of like a vintage piece. I got like a brush to hold the scarf. I got that brush from my late aunt when I turned 18. It's a V-shaped with amber, it's silver, and I will always cherish that piece, so I was happy to share it with Alice on a day. So next big dress that I will be making, it will be probably Alice's prom dress, assuming that she will want me to make one for her, but I don't think that I will do anything as fancy as her communion dress anytime soon. So that's all for the question of the week. Now let's get on with other things, what I've been making. So I haven't made much over last 2 weeks because previous week I had food poisoning and I was out of commission for almost a week. Don't wish it on the worst enemy. I think I would prefer to be in labor than going through that again. Anyway, I did manage to make a pillow cover for Chris's favorite pillow. I'll put the picture above. And I made a dress for Dress a Girl. So that's the cute little dress. The polka dot fabric is from April Tree in County Wicklow, and the stripy fabric is just one of the fat quarters from my stash. I used the pattern from Scattered Thoughts of Crafty Moms. I slightly extended the sleeves to make them tiny bit longer, and cute pockets. It's for size 3 years old. I think it's adorable, and I hope one of the little girls will be very happy. This week I was busy and I was catching up on stuff from the previous week, laundry and other stuff that I couldn't do, but I did manage to make a few things. I made PJ for Alice. I will show you the top. So that's the top. Actually, it's going to the wash because she's been wearing it for last few days. The fabric for this PJ top is from Ecobee Fabrics. It's a melange light blue jersey. I will leave the link down below. The fabric of the pocket is the same fabric as for the trousers. So it's cotton. Woven cotton I got from my friend Benita, and I was testing my new sewing machine. I'm not sure if you will be able to see the stitches I did on the pocket. So it's kind of like a little bow kind of thingy. The trousers pattern is vintage pattern I got from my friend Orla last year, and I had a finally chance to use it, and I will definitely use it again. I will extend the length of the trousers itself because it wasn't like there isn't that much room to grow, call it like that. So I just want to have a chance for Alice to wear PJ more than a month or two because she grows like a weed. And for the top I use pattern by Scattered Thoughts of Crafty Mom. I use the basic raglan tee only because I had this pattern out on my table and I just went with it. I said that the PJ is comfortable, so that's the most important part. Next thing I made, or actually few things, were insert for cushion covers. So we have this lovely couch we got a few years ago from IKEA, and our cushions, the ones that are on the back of the couch, aren't as full as they used to be. So I thought that I will use up my fabric scraps and make something. So I made few random squares, basically like rectangles, and I will overlock the edges on the top and sew the sides like that, and then I will do a seam in the middle and seams on the sides, or just seams like that, depends how much fabric I had. So I did them just from random scrap, no proper measurements or anything, just random rectangles of fabrics. And then I stuffed them from the top and then just sew on the outside lines, just to have kind of like a thick cover thingy. Actually, I will show you one. I'm back. So that's the insert. So that's actually an old skirt of mine that I weren't wearing because it was too short and the fabric got all grayish instead of black after one wash. So I just removed the elastic and I drew the line like that and then lines like that. Each part is around 12 centimeters to 15 centimeters wide, and I stuffed them from the top. So basically here stuffed bit of fabrics, and then I sew on the top here, just so whenever in the future they will get a little bit worn off, because fabric will get squished with us using the cushions. I can unpick a bit on the top and add a bit more scraps. So I made 5 or 6 of those inserts, as I said, various sizes and various fabrics, just to use up some random scraps and random bits of rectangular fabrics I had, and they are serving as well. It took me 2 days to make them, mainly because the stuffing part was a bit of annoying. I was trying to cut the bigger pieces of scraps so they will fit in better. They are relatively heavy, but they do add volume and they do add a bit more structure to the cushions. So I will be making more, probably not this week, but soon enough, because I still have like half of the bag of scraps left. So that's all things that I finished over last 2 weeks. As I mentioned, I wasn't well, so I didn't do as much as I wanted. And I think I need to start saying what I'm planning to make next, because every time I say something about planning, something happens. So I'm not gonna share my plans for next week, but hopefully I will be able to share a few makes next Friday. I have 2 videos coming up. One is pattern haul. I was actually planning to post it already by now, but turned out Love Notions had maintenance on their website, and a good few of the patterns I got are from their website. So I wanted to include the links in the video description. So it will be out probably on Sunday, and mid the next week I will have sewing journals and stash hub review after using them all for a while. So I hope you will watch it. So I think that's all from me for today. Oh, life-wise sales is good. Alice has a cupcake sale in school today, so when I'm finished that, I'm running to school because I'm already late. And over the weekend we are planning to do some sightseeing and hopefully some sewing. And next week, sewing, and more sewing, assuming that nothing happens. But you know how it is. So that's all from me for today. Have a lovely week. Happy sewing, and don't forget, change your needle and clean your sewing machine. And if you haven't taken your machine for a service in a while, just go and book your service with your dealer, or if you're looking for advice to whom send your machine for a service, ask in the comments below. I'm sure there is someone from your area who is watching the video and can recommend someone. Happy sewing. Thank you. Bye.